BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Welcome to Rice TVX and the latest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. Today I am joined by Stephen Ward. He is the CEO and Managing Director for VyFi, and they are building DeFi on the Cardano blockchain. Before we get into it, make sure you visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. Plus, you can find my social media links, contact information, get Rice TVX merch coming soon via the shop, and more. If this is your first time ever watching any of my videos, check out and explore my channels. Make sure you subscribe to Rice TVX and Rice TVX2, both can be found on YouTube, and hit the notification bell to get alerted to new videos. Also, you can follow me on Odyssey and Library, where I have my full catalog of videos plus extra content. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. If you want to support Rice TVX and what I do directly, I have my PayPal, Cash App, plus my cryptocurrency addresses via my Cointree link below in the video description. You can also join my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more, with 4 different levels of membership, all offering something different. If you are looking to purchase and invest in precious metals, gold and silver are both good safe haven assets to hedge against the financial collapse we are experiencing. Check out Money Metals Exchange. I partnered up with them and you can get a free ½ ounce of silver. Visit moneymetals.com, be a first-time buyer, purchase a minimum of $100, and use the promo code RICE. You get a free ½ ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel. I will include links down below for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything I talk about on today's show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on today's show is Stephen Ward. He is the CEO and Managing Director of VyFi. I've actually had Jack Kochen, who's also involved with VyFi, on the show. I'm going to have links down below and above so you could check out that interview, and I definitely encourage you to. But today we are joined by the CEO. Stephen, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for having me on, Chris.
No problem, man. And I appreciate you taking the time to do the interview. I know we had a little hiccup and we started re-recording. So this is version 2 of our interview.
That's it. Second time to the charm.
Well, do you mind kind of, before we get into explaining what VyFi is, giving a little background on yourself and how you got involved in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, absolutely. I can. So my real exploration in finance began 7 years ago or so, or 8 years ago now. Oh, I'm getting old. I started at a hedge fund where we were trading in in bonds, so international debt, the best kind of trading. From there, I moved into investment advice in banking, and eventually I was a stockbroker and an advisor broker. I was trading crypto since 2017, and it was in late 2020 that I decided, I think I'm ready to sort of move on my own and sort of become a trader doing this. And then within 3 to 4 months, this idea sort of formed, and boom, here we are.
Awesome. And I really like the idea of building DeFi on Cardano. I mean, there's a lot of hype going along with Cardano, and there's a lot of gripes with things taking longer than planned or expected to take. Mm-hmm. But I'm a big Charles Hoskinson fan. He's been on the show before, and I'm going to try to get him back on so I can get some updates on what exactly is happening with the blockchain.
Yeah, it's it's a busy place, to be honest. It was the most developed blockchain in the last year, most developed upon blockchain in the last year. And I can't remember the source off the top of my head, but I think that was Eat the Blocks. And it's got a lot of movement happening. Yeah, it's not quite at the pace that everyone wanted, but in very much classic Charles Hoskinson style, it's all about doing it right, not about doing it quickly. So,
and looking at us having a conversation beforehand, before we started recording and messed up and re-recorded, You were going over and explaining to me some things that we'll be sharing that kind of gave me a little bit of a inclination that there's been more progress than I was actually aware of. So,
Yeah, look, and there's been so much progress, and
yeah.
we'll go through that in a moment, as you guys are about to see. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have links down below for everything that we're sharing on today's video. Do you mind kind of giving a brief explanation? Even though Jack's been on the show before, some people may not have seen that episode. Do you mind
Mhm.
explaining in your words what Vi Finance is?
Yeah, absolutely. So VyFinance is a decentralized finance platform on Cardano. We're going to be doing a host of functions. It's actually not going to be just one thing. So we're going to be a DEX, or a decentralized exchange. That's where people come and they swap between cryptos. We'll, of course, have the capacity to yield farm. That's where if you provide the crypto to share, then, or to swap between, you get to be provided in VyFi as a reward. That's our native cryptocurrency. Then we have an auto harvester, and the auto harvester was there on the screen. Now, the auto harvester is essentially, it's going to be a function. Actually, if you could open it up through the white paper, I think that shows it more succinctly rather than this front page.
Okay.
Please.
So what people would need to do is click on the info tab. And once you get to the info tab, you'll see various different documents. And once you click on the white paper, this is what it will pull up. And we're going to go ahead and scroll down to this 3-pronged diagram, the Vi
That's it.
ecosystem.
Now, the VI ecosystem, you'll see in the middle, we have the liquidity pools and the exchange. That's our DEX. At the top, we have the auto harvester. Now, this is a system which allows users to deposit their ADA or deposit their VyFi, and we essentially take that and we liquidity mine it on their behalf. So it's essentially doing the management of the decentralized exchange, or what you'd be doing on a DEX, but it's doing it for you on behalf of new investors and people that don't have the capacity to do it for themselves, right?
Okay.
So to give this an example, in the existing Ethereum DeFi space, it would be very similar to a Yearn. But as you'll see in a moment, there's a little bit of a twist on it. And last but not least is the bottom prong, and that's our hedge fund. Or currently it's a proprietary trading firm. And we want this to be a platform that allows users, very similar to, if you, in America, I believe it's called Acorns. In Australia, it's called Raise, where you can basically do micro investments. So you can do small amount of investments that get put in your behalf into an investment fund, and then they slowly build up. We want to create that same app, but use our auto harvester as the investment vehicle for that app, so people can make micro investments into DeFi.
Okay.
What brings it all together is our bar. So that's the distributive mechanism for our token. So if you hold our token, you stake it at our bar, and 15% of all the profits earned from our hedge fund, 15% of all the profits earned from the auto harvester, and 0.05% of all trades that take place on our exchange get converted into VyFi, which is our cryptocurrency, and then get distributed amongst all holders.
Very cool.
Right? So it's a big integrated system which distributes the profits to those that hold the token, essentially, which makes it a governance. So, of course, we are implementing a governance system as soon as we're able to.
And you can see that from just going to the main webpage. If people go to VyFi, VYFI.io, and you'll see the different utilities, the yield farming, the auto harvester, be your own bank, use crypto, pay in fiat, transparency, and then community governance. So all trading fees go directly to liquidity providers. VyFi token holders can vote democratically on protocol changes. But again, you guys just recently launched, so I mean, things are
we haven't even
stages.
technically launched. We haven't even technically launched. It's all staged, right? So at the moment we're staged out. It'll be, look, when we are hoping the DEX will launch by March, April, given the current how Cardano is looking.
Okay.
Within that, though, as we're about to show in a minute, we've had a lot of development. We're still doing things. It's not as if we're not launching stuff between now and April. And from there, to get the full system up and running is going to be a sort of 2-year process from that point, is what we expect. Because we also have to do all the licensing. We have to legal hoops and
well, especially if you're dealing with like a hedge fund type situation.
Exactly.
When you're dealing with the United States and hedge funds and all that kind of stuff, I mean, there's a lot of regulation that comes into play. I know there are people that run private hedge funds, but I'm not really even sure about the legality.
That's
of things like that.
that's a prop firm, and that's what I said in the first place. We're not quite a hedge fund. We're a proprietary trading firm, and they're private hedge funds essentially.
Okay.
So at the moment, that's how we're running, is as a private hedge fund. So it's all private monies, but we need to make it public so that we can accept the public's money, which requires us to go through an extensive bureaucratic process, as you're alluding to. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And some of the first here that's notated is the first crypto backed via proprietary trading firm, which you mentioned, the first crypto to use neural net data collection for its liquidity pools.
That's what we're doing a bit. That's our sort of spicy twist on auto harvesting. So rather than just having sort of static user generated strategies like you have in Yearn or you have in Harvest.finance or in existing auto harvesters, we have an AI that's essentially analyzing the markets at all times and teaching itself the optimal strategies based on current conditions. And then it's adjusting the portfolios to make sure that it meets those conditions, or, you know, the optimal trades for those conditions. So essentially, and if you go to our white paper once more.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you scroll down just a little, we're going to pass a scary looking image on page 6, I believe. A little more, please. Yeah, that's the scary looking image, but keep going down a little bit past that.
Okay.
And it's the next up, not VyFi, the one after VyFi.
The one after, okay. The auto harvester and neural net AI.
So what you can basically see is users, we're trying to simplify this whole process, right? And the way that we simplify the whole process for a user is to essentially do as much work for the user in the back end as possible. So all we want for the user experience is to be ADA into the vault and they receive an LP that represents their ownership of the vault, right? Okay. And then from there, our neural net is taking in data from internal sources, external exchanges, external swaps, and different farms, right? And then it's munging this data or putting all this data together, and then it's taking this data and optimizing for yield. And then that yield is delivered back to the vault, right? So then when you trade out the LP in the future, ideally, if liquidity mining works, you're going to be pulling out more ADA than what you deposited. And then 15% of the total yield is distributed to the holders of our token. Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry.
I did not realize I was muted. I muted myself for a second and thought I unmuted myself. When I said something about you guys just recently launched, I was mistaken. More of what I was meaning is you guys recently had your token launch.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we certainly did. I mean, it was a sellout as well. And then we followed that up with an NFT. And in fact, I think now might be a good moment if you can quickly go over to our app, please.
Yeah, no, I want to let people know that they can also, and this is all on the main webpage. If they go to your Twitter account, they could follow you guys on Twitter, which I'm following you. Just today we're recording this on the 13th of January, and we're going to be releasing it this coming Sunday, which is the 16th. So today, though, the NFT Whitepaper came out.
Yes, that's correct. We had the NFT Whitepaper. That's because of the expansion of our NFT project, the NFT portion of our project, which kind of blew up by accident, which was rather amazing. And here are the NFT vaults, yeah.
Here's the app. So you would find this on the main webpage by just clicking on the app itself. I just had everything already pulled up so that we can conveniently look at it.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're well organized. I wish I had that skill.
It only works sometimes.
So essentially, we gave out our NFT for free to all participants in our ICO. So it was a free gift. From there, we released our original vault, which was an Earn VyFi vault. We thought it would be a fun way to do an airdrop for the community.
Okay.
And it kind of just exploded. We just started realizing that heaps of people were buying it on the secondary market, which was a little bit outside of our control. And then we realized, well, all these people are buying it on the secondary market. Yeah, if you go to the data page, currently the average floor price is 962 ADA. So it's not a cheap NFT, unfortunately, which makes it a bit harder for people to engage now. Which is why we're actually bringing out a cheaper NFT in the next few months, so that we do have a lower price point of entry for more users.
Okay.
But you can essentially stake our NFT and earn tokens from across Cardano. So at the moment, we've got Cardax, we've got Flick, we've got, I shouldn't be forgetting, well, VyFi, of course, and MeusliSwap are the four that you can earn. And now, actually, this is the bit that I need to come in, because we are releasing tomorrow, so on the 14th, should be tomorrow, maybe the 15th, the day after, we are releasing a little update, and we're releasing token vaults.
You ready for me to do that screen share for that?
Yeah. Just throw on my screen, please.
Bear with me one moment. Let me remove mine and add yours. There we go.
Thank you so much. So here is our up and coming. Sorry?
I was going to go full screen so everybody can see it.
That's fine. So, of course, we have to connect the wallet. So we connect the NAMI. Here we got ourselves our vaults. Oh, of course, the blockchain is acting a little bit slow for me. So as you can see, it's just refreshing now. Give it a sec. Anyway, so we're releasing token vaults in the next day or two.
So by the time this comes out on the 16th, token vault should be out.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm just going to refresh the page. So functionally, what's happened is, as a result of the state of the blockchain at the moment, we can't really release pools as of yet. And I hate it not working right this moment. It was working before when I was showing you.
No, it totally was. I can attest for that because you
can attest that. Anyway, that's fine. We'll just do it. We'll just do it from here. That page was not working unless it actually. The reality is, my devs could be doing things right now with it, which
that's a big possibility, especially since
how
we're about.
Look at that. There's just been the closed sign that has come over them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, that is crazy timing, though, that they're actually working on finishing some final dev developments before this thing actually gets released. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm really glad.
We get to see the action in real time.
I'm really glad the close signs came up to sort of support me that it's not just, because it was working just beforehand. I'm going to stop sharing, take it off for a moment.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you. So essentially, just let me find you 1 second. There you are. So essentially, we're releasing those token vaults tomorrow. As you can see, some final little fix-ups are taking place.
So that should be about the 14th roughly that this thing should be released. So again, by the time you're watching this, the devs should be done doing what they're doing. You shouldn't see it closed on there or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. They won't all be closed. And then from there, we're going to be essentially having users staking VyFi to earn tokens on our platform. And as far as I'm aware, this is the first multi-token staking platform on Cardano. So this is the first opportunity to stake tokens from across the ecosystem on the blockchain. So
it's all Cardano, like ADA assets.
Yes, it's all ADA assets, and it's all native on the blockchain. So this is the kind of paces we're making. And I was starting to say before the devs shut down the vaults. Essentially, we've got non-adjustable pools. That's why we're calling them vaults. We're not calling them token pools. Because the way that token pools work is when more tokens come in, it reduces the amount that each user gets. And then when there's less tokens in there to farm, it increases the amount that each user gets, right?
Okay.
As a result of that, these are a static amount for every user. So if there's 5 VyFi or 5 million VyFi in there, everyone has to have the same amount, which means when we space it out, we need to make sure that there's enough for everyone there to be able to get it, which is why we have a return of, 18% or 20% rather than those adjustable returns that you see on a DEX of 150, 200, right? Once we start getting the adjustable returns, in other words, once our DEX launches, we'll be able to offer more DEX returns, because then we have a DEX and can offer the classic DEX tools. And that's a classic way, and that's a really perfect way to sort of describe the position of the Cardano blockchain right now. It's kind of similar to where Ethereum was sort of 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. What was I? Oh, so with the staking, are you only able to stake just the VyFi token, and you can earn different Cardano assets in addition to earning more VyFi?
Yes, you can also earn VyFi. So there's a VyFi vault, right? And then there's the vaults for the other assets.
But you're staking VyFi to get that asset if that's what you choose to do. You're not staking that other asset. Are you going to allow for staking of other Cardano assets?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
Just because we've just got too much to do to incorporate that.
Right. Well, I
I'm not
completely
against
understand.
it. But at the moment, it's staking VyFi to earn the other assets. So they're all in exchange for staking VyFi. Just like our NFTs in exchange for the VyFi NFT.
Sweet. Now, with the NFT white paper, what is some of the functionalities that you guys are going to be having with the NFTs?
Yeah, perfect. So we've got quite a bit coming up. We're essentially realized that the NFT is the perfect. Well, first, have a look at the price chart of the NFT. That is one of my favorite price. Also, because it's
This right here.
It's our NFT. Yeah, that's the price chart of the NFT.
What happened here, man? In November, it was like
that day. That was actually a day that the biggest market on Cardano went down for a day. So that's what
okay.
happened there.
Interesting, because it's a total flip flop right here and there.
Yeah,
it's like down to the extreme, up to the extreme, and then off to the races.
Off to the races. It's been such a wild ride, right? And that's why we realized that we had to we would miss an opportunity if we didn't make something more out of this, really, right? Like the popularity of it is the proof's in the pudding. So what we're doing is we're creating an NFT launch pad, right? So that's where essentially we get new and upcoming tokens that are launching on Cardano, and we allow people to stake our NFT in return for earning those up and coming tokens, right? That way, rather than having to risk your principal assets, you can risk an NFT, which is nothing but time, right? You're not locking in a value. You're just locking in an NFT for a certain period of time. And then if the asset if you get a bad token, which not all new starters work, as I'm sure you're aware, the only thing you've lost is, 10 days of time on a token and you get another one, right? So that's
you're going to offer staking with the NFTs to be able to get a return on your staked NFTs.
That's it. That's correct.
Would it be similar? Would it be similar to the way that you mentioned where you could earn VyFi plus other Cardano assets?
That's correct. So that it's going to work the same way as our NFT vaults work at the moment. So if you go to our NFT vaults, you can stake our NFTs to earn other assets. It's going to work that way, but with a focus on unlaunched tokens, right? So we're going to be really looking at sort of bringing new tokens to the light using our NFT. And if you go to NFT vaults, there they are.
Yeah. So this is where you can earn VyFi, earn Min, earn CDX, Flip.
And they're the 4 that we have going at the moment.
Okay. Very cool. I like this.
So now,
real quick, I was going to ask, is the NFTs, are they, because like with some of the engine NFTs, and I'm pretty sure you could do this with other ones where you actually have a certain amount of engine locked up in the NFT and you can burn the NFT and it gives you X amount of engine. Is this a similar way? Like, do you have to back these NFTs by Cardano or by assets?
No, these NFTs aren't backed.
Okay.
What they are backed, look, they are kind of backed because they're backed by our vaults. So our vaults give our NFT a return.
That makes sense.
Which is what makes our NFT unique, which is why the NFT really picked up in popularity. But as I said, we designed it to be a fun way because we gave it as a free NFT to our ICO participants. So we really did design it as a fun way to, engage our community and have an enjoyable airdrop. We thought, we'd give everyone that purchased in our ICO, we'll give them 30 VyFi for free. This will be a fun way to do it. And then, you can't control the secondary market.
No, you can't.
It's actually crazy. So this is where, and this is, that's an example of just the success that we've had. This is described in the NFT Launch Pad, which I already described, where we're launching new tokens through NFT staking. So you stake the NFT to earn the new tokens. And if you scroll down to the next page,
the upcoming releases or down further?
Yeah, no, this one.
Okay.
So as you can see, the floor price for our NFT is sitting around 1,080 at the moment. So it's not the cheapest NFT to get into, right? As a result of that, we want to release an NFT that allows more people to participate in our NFT staking platform because it's just more fun with more involved, really. So we're releasing an NFT a VyFi White NFT, which is going to have a total mint of, it says there, 12,500. And the farm rate is going to be about a 25th of the purple. And the estimated cost per mint is going to be 37.88, right? So having that lower price point, significantly lower than 1,000 ADA, which is what it is at the moment. And most importantly, 15% of the NFTs are going to be airdropped to our community. And we haven't announced how that airdrop is going to be decided yet, but I can just say it has already been decided. So there's no way that they can have any influence on it.
So if somebody was to want to get involved with the community, like on Telegram, Discord, or follow on Twitter, probably be a really good way of being able to keep up with announcements.
Absolutely. So, and not only that, but to be perfectly honest, being part of the community has a lot of rewards. We've got 2 more NFTs coming up in the future, a blue and a green. And I can assure you that both of those NFTs, that's in the long term, and this is, long term. And both of those are going to have a large portion that are going to be airdropped to the community. So it can be a profitable community to be part of.
Very cool. So I got the Telegram group pulled up, and if you go to the actual website and you scroll all the way down to the very bottom, you will see there's Twitter, there's Telegram, there's Discord, there's a YouTube channel with no videos yet, but videos are coming soon, and you can subscribe, and also the Facebook group as well.
Yes. So we've got all the socials bar Reddit covered. Unfortunately, that's our 1 weak spot.
What about partners here?
Partners. I love that partner page. That's been a lot of work. Seeing that makes me really happy.
You want to talk about some of the partners?
Yeah, absolutely. So ADAX, we've got a partnership NFT launching with ADAX in a couple of weeks, where we're releasing a staking farm where you can farm both ADAX and VyFi. So that's sort of like a special little promotional thing that we're doing. Cornucopias, I'm an advisor. We work together. Charlie 3, they're our oracle. You may have spoken to Charlie 3. You may not have. If you haven't, I'll definitely hook you guys up. Very interesting group to talk to. Drop for Drop are a charity that we support. It's always important to give back. MeusliSwap are a DEX, ArtaDAX. ArtaSwap, Cardax are a DEX. Arta handle means that we'll be finishing similar to when you have .eth domains. That's .eth domains for ADA.
That's cool.
Yeah, just a lot of work that we're doing together, particularly the DEXs, Cardax, ArtaSwap, MeusliSwap, ourselves. We're all trying to achieve a similar goal. So instead of working against each other, we work together. Really,
that's the way to do it. That's teamwork makes the dream work, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big enough system for all of us to do well. It's not about it's about being able to do it properly. It's not about trying to show off.
That's good. Shout out to Miggy. Miggy's been on the show before. He's come on one of the crypto rewinds on the channel, so he's representing some VyFi swag.
Yeah, he's got some VyFi swag. Sick as.
And you guys have some with your Twitter account. I mean, there's obviously you got like monthly updates coming out. There's a lot of news and stuff that people can keep up to date with. I always try to explain, like, if you follow on Twitter and stuff like to that effect, you're going to keep up with news and updates. If you want to get involved and like really join the community, I would encourage. I'm more of a Telegram user versus Discord. I know a lot of people love Discord, but there's both Telegram and Discord that people can get involved in. So I definitely encourage people that are interested to definitely look into all the links that are going to be down below. And you can pretty much find all this on the main webpage at VyFi.io.
And jump in and ask questions. We don't bite. We're always happy to answer, and we want to tell people what we're doing. We don't want to scare them away. So please, we're a friendly bunch.
The last question I would want to ask you is, what do we have to look forward? I mean, you've mentioned some things, but in the near future, aside from the DEX and the other things, is there anything else that you haven't mentioned that you're going to be trying to incorporate?
Oh, yeah, and in fact, if you go back to the NFT Whitepaper, please.
Okay.
And you scroll down to the last page, I believe it is. It might be the second last.
The one about the upcoming releases?
No, below that. We've actually got a new and up a little, please. We've got a new and updated. There it is. We've got a new and updated model, right? Now that we've added the NFTs, we're actually also adding the royalties from the NFTs to our bar. So that means that 6% of all NFT sales are going to be converted to VyFi and distributed to holders of our token. So basically, keeping in with our original concept of our ecosystem, we want to be bolstering with as many income streams as possible to be distributed to our users. So that's what excites me most about the NFT. It's going to become a whole new income stream that will passively bolster the value of VyFi, right?
Awesome. Now, let me ask you, if somebody's interested in getting some VyFi tokens, being that the sale is over, is there any Cardano dexes that is currently available on?
It certainly is. If I just linked it to you, it's MeusliSwap.com. I sent it to you in this chat, by the way.
Yeah, I see it. Let me copy it. Come over here using my trusty Brave browser. How do you pronounce that?
Muesli. It's porridge with fruit.
That is an awful word.
Yes, it is. I agree with you.
And what is this?
That's what we call porridge.
Is this muesli or is this oatmeal?
It's oatmeal. It's oatmeal with fruit. It's basically porridge. That's what we call porridge in Australia. We call it muesli.
Oh, you call oatmeal muesli?
Mm-hmm.
I love oatmeal. That's such an ugly word.
If you press 2 exchange Cardano, that'll take you to the Cardano exchange. But yeah, it is not. It's almost like moist. Oh, just saying it makes me feel weird. And then you press markets, please.
Milk.
Yeah, milk is their token. And then if you scroll down just a very little bit, you'll see that we're right there, VyFi.
Okay. And that's currently the price it's priced in ADA, obviously. So 1.61 ADA. So that's what ADA's about
1.16.
What's the price of ADA?
ADA's at $1.30, so it's at about $1.50.
Okay. That's pretty cool. It's maintaining some good value.
And we've got decent. It's a smaller DEX. They actually launched this without telling us. They're an order book exchange. They're not a DEX. They're not a automated market maker. So you actually have to place the orders and fulfill them like you would in Binance, right?
Okay.
So yeah. It's just in that sense, it just behaves a little differently to how you imagine Uniswap. It's not like Uniswap.
Right.
But I can't believe our token performed so well. Like they didn't even tell us they were launching us. They just one day, our community was like, "Hey, you're on this DEX," and we were like, "Wait, what?" And then we come in and we barely dropped below 188 cents. And considering our ICO was at 60 cents, I would call that a good performance so far. Knock on wood. We want to keep it going.
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show, was to bring a little bit more attention to what you guys are doing. I love Jack. Jack's a good dude, but I wanted to bring different people on. And I told Jack that you're going to be coming on, and I think he's excited about the idea of the potential when we do a follow-up, we can have the two of you join in and make this.
Absolutely.
Threesome.
Yeah, I'd love to. That sounds great.
Because I think, he said that he would be really excited to do something like that. I told him I had promised you when we met in Miami that I would definitely get you on the show. And so
what could even be a little bit of fun, the next time we meet in Miami, we could do a little live show, do a little, 10-minute chat together.
That would be cool.
Me, you and Jack on some seats.
And you are talking about coming in early April for a Bitcoin 2022 and hopefully the Shitcoin 2022 conference as well. Hopefully that'll be happening.
Yes. Yeah, that is correct. So we will be seeing each other again soon.
Very cool. Well, man, I really enjoyed this. I want to make sure before we do wrap things up that we covered everything that you wanted to talk about. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to highlight aside from the fact that you guys have this launch taking place that by the time people are watching.
Yeah, look, the last thing I really want to highlight is just stuff's happening on Cardano. A lot of people are really, particularly some Ethereum users, are really in the mindset that Cardano is a ghost chain. It's not anymore. Come and have a look. You might save yourself $80 every time you do a transaction.
Ghost chain, I hear vaporware a lot too.
Yes, vaporware.
I'm not really sure what the difference in between the two is, or if they're just basically the same thing with just different names.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just different words for it. Yeah, it's when I think of vaporwave, I think of a band coming out to heaps of steam, and then they're all just playing air instruments.
That would be cool. We should start a we should start a group.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. On a final note, man, how is everything? How is everything in your neck of the woods of Australia?
I'm actually in Italy right now. I'm going back to Australia in 3 weeks,
Okay.
maybe 3.5. Everywhere, he's like everywhere else, bombarded by Omicron, but everyone's just getting on.
Right. I was just curious. All right, man. Well,
Australia's doing it worse. I do know, stories from back home. They've had some supply chain issues back home. So it's not fun. It's not fun hearing the stories coming out of Australia right now. But that's a
yeah, a lot of
different
the
story.
lot of the protests but I know that's not every part of Australia. A lot of the what looks
No,
like
that's
it
my
could be
part.
violence on the police end, but again, that's not the whole of Australia or Terra
No,
Australis.
no, not all of it. It's just it's a little bit of we get some American fun in Australia as well. What can I say?
Sweet.
Less guns though, which is fortunate.
I definitely
So
want to do some international traveling, and hopefully one day I can make my way to the land down under, the land of
well, if you
Oz.
ever come to the land down under, hit me up. We'll be sure to definitely have at least a couple of beers.
100%, man. 100%. Cool. Well, if you could bear with me 1 second, man, I'm just going to wrap things up and stop recording.
Absolutely, mate. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you again, man. And I definitely look forward to having you and Jack on together. Again, I'm going to have that interview with Jack Kochen linked down below. So I definitely encourage you to check that out, as well as everything that we talk about on today's show. It's going to be in the video description. If this happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, be sure to check out and explore my channel. Subscribe to my side backup channel, Rice TVX2. And I will leave you with this: be the change, practice change.